Hi, welcome to the 49ers Cutback. I'm Alex. Today you're about to witness something that's never been tried before on this channel. We're going to live stream. Probably going to go well, but we could absolutely bollocks this up and completely fail all over the place. And if we do, please let us know about it in the comment section down below and rip us a new butthole down there. We really, really appreciate it. It's time now. See you guys shortly.
From the alley-oops at Keysar to the glory days at the stick. From who's got it better than us to brick by brick. It's always the 49ers way, from off-season to game day. Yeah, we talk back. It's the 49ers Cutback.
It's 49ers Cutback Podcast time, and we are absolutely live, Horse, which means you can't get cut.
That's good to hear, guys. All the stuff I've been wanting to say is going to be live.
No, we can't. Oh, man.
It could get real scary real quick.
Real quick. I mean, it could spiral completely out of control.
It's my time to shine.
Oh, my Lord. Hopefully not that kind. We don't want that kind of no shine. Welcome. It's time. We're here. We're live streaming. It's a test stream. Don't get too excited. This is not going to be a reoccurring thing right now. We're just testing and working out some issues and some kinks, but also bringing you our daily Friday episode, not specifically at 5:30 p.m. Not specifically, but it is started. It started at 5:30. We're here. We got some things that we want to discuss today.
Definitely.
And before we get into the Super Bowl, there was some drama on Instagram with the 49er, wasn't there, guys?
Are we going to get into some specifics first?
No specifics first.
We're going to get into Jet McKinnon, because Jet McKinnon did the whole thing where he was on live with Deebo Samuel, and he was kind of like telling everyone he was getting the F out of San Francisco. And now he's doubling down, because on Instagram he puts up the picture, and he's like, well, thank you guys, but peace, I'm out. Horse, what do you think about what Jet McKinnon is doing? Does this make any sense to you after the way the 49ers have treated Jet McKinnon in the last couple of years?
I mean, obviously, none of us know the inner workings of a locker room or what went on between him and coaches or him and other players there. But no, it doesn't make very much sense, because Jet McKinnon was out for 2 straight years, and they still brought him back for this year, paid him. They actually gave him a lot of chances to become a featured player. It was very clear by the second, third game that Jet McKinnon needs to find a new nickname. He didn't have that anymore. I like the guy. He was a fantastic player in Minnesota, and it's not his fault he got hurt. I have no hate for him. I'm not one of those fans that's going to type weird things to him on his Instagram and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's part of the reason that he's a little bit salty, is there's fans that like to, for some reason, send people hateful messages on social media, and I'm sure it's happened a lot to him. But I don't see how he could be angry with the 49ers. I think he produced 300 to 400 total yards for $22 million over 3 years.
Yucky.
Yeah, it's not good. It's not pretty. I don't understand where it's coming from. Unless he really wanted to come back to San Francisco and someone just said, under no circumstances will you be back, under no contract, there's no money that we want to pay you, and that just stung him deep, and he was like, you know what, fine, you guys are going to treat me like this, you're going to do this when I came here and took a chance on you, and blah, blah, blah. I mean, that'd be the only thing, and even that doesn't add up, because he didn't play. He didn't play in San Francisco other than this year, and even that, I think all of us pretty much were on the understanding and on the page of, for the most part, this is really just a getting the rust off after not playing for 2 years sort of thing. My bold prediction before the year was that Jet was going to work into the starting role, and because of injuries, he actually got himself there, but you could tell right away that it just, that little extra kick he used to have in Minnesota just doesn't have that right now, and he may not ever have it again.
Yeah, I think for Jet, it was just flashes this year. A couple good runs in the game, in different games, and he kind of had flashes where you're like, oh, that's Jet McKinnon. But really, he's not. Horse is right. This guy's running low on jet fuel. His season is probably, or his career is probably winding down. And I think he realizes that, yes, he's going to have to leave San Francisco. They paid him a crap ton of money. And now he's going to go somewhere else. And I'm not sure he's going to get more than what the minimum is. Because there's already 2 running backs that are way better than him on the 49ers. And it wouldn't be hard with JaMychal Hasty coming back for there to be 3 running backs better than him. So he's not a top priority for them. And I'm sorry that he's upset that he's got to go. But if he's going to show this kind of hatred towards the 49ers, I got a message for Jet McKinnon. Don't let the door hit you where the good Lord split you. Have a good time in the next, finding a place to go in free agency. Enjoy it. Thanks for taking our money. Now kick yourself down the road.
You even got to go to watch a Super Bowl.
Yep, there you go.
I thought it was going to be a simple deuces, but that'll also suffice. That'll work as well.
No, he can give deuces. I don't give deuces for this. I'm not Chris Brown.
He played like deuces.
He did play like some deuces. Horst, did we have someone who re-signed?
We did have a big re-signing, an important one today. A glue guy.
Oh, a glue guy.
Long snapper Tabor Pepper re-signed with the 49ers today. And I know a lot of people, it's a long snapper. You need one. You need a good one. And we saw what happened to the game he didn't play. Their field goal, their kicking, it was a mess. I think every snap that the backup had was bad in that game, was not on target. And it was they ended up pulling it out, but it was a big deal. So if you don't have a good long snapper, it can cost you games, and they do have a good one in Tabor Pepper. So I'm glad they brought him back. Obviously not earth-shattering, but it's an important signing.
Nothing happened just now. You didn't witness anything. Those are things we can normally edit out. Can't edit them out here. And Horst is right. Stability at the long snapping position is what's key. You have to have someone who's consistent, who can continually put the ball in the right spot, that has his timing down with the holder and the kicker. He gets the ball back with the same amount of velocity and spin, and it gets there on time when it's supposed to. Because if you're snapping it at different speeds, you're snapping at different velocities, it's not getting there at the same time every time. That throws off timing for your kicker. So it's important to have consistency. Tabor Pepper has been consistent since the day we signed him and brought him in. And you like to see it, because if there's stability in the kick game and Robbie Gould's making field goals, that's one less aspect of the game that you have to worry about. And now we get to focus on getting guys healthy and cleaning up our offense, especially the O-line, quarterback play, healthy running backs on the field. We can focus our attention on things that are pressing and necessary, and not things that we should be able to do without having to pay too much attention about. Special teams needs to operate kind of that way for a team to be successful.
When does Brian Jennings get inducted into the Niners Ring of Honor is what I want to know.
Probably at some point. I would like to say that as far as this goes, this is one of those positions where you want to just never have to worry about it. You want it taken care of. You don't want it to ever be a concern. Kyle Shanahan has enough on his plate. He doesn't want to worry about who the long snapper is. And we had some struggles with that early on in the season, and it became a question. Pepper came in, and he really just fixed it. He was lights out the entire year. So that's the thing. You want the long snapper and the holder to not be a question. That way everything works. There's enough pressure on the kicker as it is. He needs to make sure everything is in line. This was perfect for them to go ahead and lock him up. He did a great job. He's a solid player. And now the 49ers don't have to worry about a long snapper. So there's plenty to worry about. Long snapper's not one of them. I'm not sure this was the signing everyone was hoping for. But it's the first domino in what we need to happen for the 49ers to have a wonderful offseason, which I hope they're going to have.
God, man, they better. We really need it after the year we've kind of had.
Yep.
But now, guys, we get to talk about the thing that's on everybody's mind. The thing that everyone is the most excited about. The thing that's this weekend. It's a Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl weekend. But before we get there, you need to hit that subscribe button. People in the stream right now, you're checking us out, you're watching us. Okay, the thing's been scrolling there at the bottom. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button right now. Become a member of this wonderful community, which is skyrocketing and growing at an incredible, enormous rate. We want that growth to continue. We want to keep bringing you content like this. We want to keep being able to test out live streams. All of that, though, depends on the support we're getting. We keep getting that support, keep getting that energy from you. We're going to give that energy right back. You need that energy. And guys, I'm going to be honest. I'm getting a little sick of this scene. I think we should. Are
we going to kick it up a notch?
I think we should kick it up just a little bit. You know, give them a little extra, a little more pizzazz there on the screen. Pizzazz. Look at that. You can see the chat there as well. Chat, what's going on? How you doing down there tonight?
I think you learned that word on Reddit today.
Pizzazz on Reddit. That's a place
Is
where
it like pizza with a Z at the end?
Basically, yeah, basically. Game preview, guys. We got the Super Bowl. It's kind of a big deal.
Yep.
Unfortunately, the Niners aren't in it. Our hated foes, the Kansas City Chiefs, are. They're there. The Chiefs are there. Tom Brady somehow magically found his way back. Oh, and Gronkowski. Don't forget about Gronk either. How are we feeling about the game? What are we thinking? How things are going to play out? Let's give a little bit of a game preview for everyone watching on the stream right now.
Well, I think this is the ultimate matchup that the NFL was looking for. You've got the young guy that's on his way up. You've got the guy who's been doing it better than anyone in a long time. You got Tom Brady versus Patrick Mahomes. This is all the writings of something Vince McMahon would have written in the WWE, and you've got it in the NFL. This is exactly the story they wanted because everyone's fawning over Patrick Mahomes and Tom Brady. They've got Travis Kelce versus Gronk. There's just so many great storylines in this game. So it's going to be a good game. I think this is going to come down to who can make more plays late, but I think that Patrick Mahomes is going to be out there causing problems for Tampa Bay. And I don't know if Tom Brady still has that magic. So we're going to see if Tom Brady can win a Super Bowl without Bill Belichick. He's gotten to the Super Bowl, but can he win it, Horst?
I don't know. This is going to be a very tough challenge for them as a team. The amazing thing out of this is if Tom Brady wins, or the Buccaneers win with Tom Brady at quarterback, he'll have more Super Bowls than any other team, which I think is incredible. But I don't think it's happening. I don't think they have the firepower. But he's one of those guys that you cannot sit here and bet against because he'll make you look stupid. It's happened over and over throughout his career. People have thought he was done probably 6 different segments in his career.
Yeah.
It was just only a few years ago on the Pats. They suffered an ugly Monday night blowout loss to the Chiefs, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And everyone, this looks like the end of the Brady and Belichick dynasty. They went to 2 more Super Bowls after that. So, I mean, you never know with Tom Brady at quarterback, but he looks outgunned here.
He does. The only thing I think that Bucs really have going for them in this game is that I think weapons to weapons on offense, you match up pretty well. Mike Evans, Kenny Golladay, Gronkowski, Leonard Fournette. I think those weapons. Oh, and Antonio Brown. Can't forget about that guy.
I can't believe we didn't mention.
I said Kenny Golladay. I meant Chris Godwin. My apologies.
I thought you were going to mention Tyler Johnson. But...
Tyler Johnson. You know what? He has been playing really well, and I know you're a big fan.
I am
of Mr. Tyler Johnson.
What about Playoff Lenny?
Playoff Lenny has been wonderful for the Buccaneers as well. The weapons on offense for the Bucs are comparable, if not just as good, if not equal to the Kansas City Chiefs. The questions are the defense, obviously, and the O-line play. I think both teams have struggled a little bit with O-line play. And there's definitely been some injuries as well with that Chiefs O-line, which brings up a lot of questions in terms of can they handle the pass rush of the Bucs. Horst was bringing it up before the podcast when we were doing a little bit of a roundtable. He was talking about all the movement on that Bucs O-line and the Chiefs O-line and the Bucs D-line isn't a pushover. You think that could cause Mahomes any problems whatsoever?
Yeah, I think it could. But the one thing I know is that Tampa Bay D-line is not the 49ers gold rush from last year that absolutely held Mahomes in check for 3 quarters. That's not going to happen with Tampa Bay. They're going to be able to move the ball. Not to mention the run game for the Chiefs is improved. They're going to get the ball in Tyreek Hill's hands quick. McCole Harmon quick. Get them the ball and let them make plays. So yeah, can the defensive line cause some issues? Yes. Will Ndamukong Suh cause problems inside? Yes. But will the Chiefs be able to overcome it? Probably, because you just have too much speed on the outside, too many ways to beat you, and now they've given Andy Reid 2 weeks to come up with a game plan to defeat you.
Yeah, Andy Reid, fantastic coach. Like you said, great weapons. The 49ers defense did, I think, about as good of a job as anyone could have expected last year in the Super Bowl on them, and we're a couple plays away from winning the game. But this Bucs D-line, while it is dangerous, is not that 49ers defensive line. And the unfortunate thing and the honest truth that the NFL doesn't want you to know, the way the game is officiated, they are not going to call every holding. They are not going to call everything. And you cannot use the old school adage of roughing up the quarterback to get him uncomfortable like they used to do when you faced a great quarterback in one of these games. You do that, you get 15-yard penalties that moves them down the field, or even ejected if the hit's bad enough. But yeah, on the offensive line, the Chiefs are missing Eric Fisher, He's our left tackle who tore his Achilles last week towards the end of the game. Kind of sad for him because he's been a good player all year. He started every game except for the final one where they rested their starters. Mitchell Schwartz, their right tackle, has been out since week 11, and Mike Remmers has been subbing for him. He's been doing an okay job. He's clearly a backup, but he's a very good backup. Andrew Wiley has been playing right guard. He now has to move to right tackle to sub for Remmers. Remmers is going to left tackle, and legacy Stefan Wisniewski Jr. is coming in at right guard to sub for Wiley. While he's that's a good backup to have, he's clearly a backup. The only issue that I foresee them having is if someone gets a good hit on Mahomes and were to hurt him, because I think they'd really be in trouble without Mahomes, but I don't see that happening. And Andy Reid is a mastermind coming up with offensive game plans. You know he's going to have as good a game plan as anyone could to come up around it, missing those guys. I still don't think the Chiefs are going to be slowed down enough for the Bucs to win the game.
I agree with you. I don't think they are either. The Bucs linebackers for me are kind of the key in this. They have to be able to slow that run game down and not let Travis Kelce run absolutely wild, because Tyreek Hill is going to have a mismatch on the outside. McCole Hardman will have mismatches on the outside. Your pass rush has to get to Patrick Mahomes. The linebackers have to hold strong and not give up the big plays to Kelce or the little stuff underneath. If they can do that, it gives them a shot. But, man, they are dealing with an uphill battle.
The only thing they got going for him is Antoine Winfield can help with Travis Kelce.
Also
He's
true.
come on. I mean, he is just flown in out of nowhere, and everyone's like, this dude is a legit player. What a heck of a value pick that they got getting Antoine Winfield.
Absolutely.
I mean, that is crazy.
It is.
And, Horst, we didn't even mention JPP.
Yeah, that's another good pass rusher that they have. By the way, sidebar, if you haven't seen the cleats Antoine Winfield Jr. is going to wear for the game, after you're done watching the show and after you subscribe and comment,
absolutely,
go look the cleats up because they're fantastic. They pay homage to his father, who, if you didn't know, his father was a several-time Pro Bowl defensive back in the NFL as well, and I thought they were awesome. Now, JPP he's not quite the guy he was on the Giants anymore.
Wow. Yeah.
But you know,
I wonder why
you ruined the joke.
Sorry.
I was gonna make. He's about 2 or 3/5 of the guy he was on the Giants.
He's a real firecracker.
Yeah, but he's still a problem off the edge. Shaq Barrett can be a problem off the edge. The only thing is, as my man's here pointed out before we went on TV, Vita Vea and Sue are not really built to defend a quick outside zone run scheme.
Bingo.
Yeah.
Vita Vea is a problem in the sense if you're trying to run a gap scheme, a power scheme up the middle, trying to run the old school power O's, ISOs, that kind of looks.
Good luck.
Good luck moving Vita Vea out of there.
Yep.
And another sidebar, go YouTube his high school running back highlights. Those are fantastic.
Yeah.
Those are really good.
But Sue is a little bit better matchup for it, but Sue's still more of an old school defensive tackle. And I just don't think they're built to stop that run game, that zone run game. Once again, we are dealing with Andy Reid. We are not dealing with a coach that doesn't understand
right.
that.
It's true. And, honestly, we've had this discussion a little bit. If Andy Reid has a better quarterback with those Eagles franchises, if it's not Donovan McNabb, are we having a conversation about Andy Reid being one of the best, not just best offensive minds, but one of the best coaches in all of football? Because with a guy like Patrick Mahomes, you see the kind of things he can do. Their offense is almost at times unstoppable. They're going to go off at some point. If he has a generational talent like that with those Eagles teams, there's a chance they take some Super Bowls away from those Patriots, and you're putting Reid in that conversation of one of the GOAT of coaches, or at least up there with Belichick.
I think we wouldn't be talking about Belichick as being the greatest. We'd be talking about the greatest time for head coaches with Reid and Belichick. Agreed. Both of them had fantastic teams. I think we'd be talking about them in the same light.
And imagine if he would have gotten young Michael Vick under his tutelage.
Yeah.
Man, young Michael Vick would have been great.
I mean, it could have been good.
It could have been really good. But it's always a great time, boys. Wow, that's bold. That's right. We're bringing it back for the Super Bowl, everybody. If you haven't seen this before, get ready. Wow, that's bold. We're going to make some bold predictions.
My favorite intro.
But first, We got to intro the segment, of course.
Of course.
Wow, that's really bold. Whoa.
Boldness, boldness, boldness. That's all this segment is. You heard the man. That's really bold. That's what we're about to bring to the table to you right now. Ant.
Naturally.
Super Bowl. Wow, that's bold prediction. Give it to us. Give it to me. Come on, what you got?
So I've been thinking about this. You got Tom Terrific playing at home. I think he's going to, be trying to win that 7th title. He's going to feel the pressure, and he's going to feel it enough that the Honey Badger is going to have 2 interceptions on Tom Terrific. One of them's going for a touchdown.
Oh my God, a pick 6?
I got a pick 6 from the Honey Badger.
Oh my word. Boys?
I just saw an amazing comment on there from Maverick and Goose that JPP redefines the 3-point stance. I don't know you. I want to know you. That was amazing.
That's the kind of content we want on this podcast, on this stream.
This doesn't sound bold, but if you go back to the track record of Super Bowls, my prediction, and his kind of led into it, that a non-quarterback will win the MVP of the game this year.
It's pretty bold.
And if you want me to give names, with Tampa, I'm going to go with Leonard Fournette, because they would have to get that run game going to keep the Chiefs off the field.
It's true.
With the Chiefs, I'm going to go with the Honey Badger if a non-quarterback wins the MVP.
We're doubling down on the Badger.
Doubling down. Dave had made a comment earlier in the chat about the Honey Badger and how much he loved him. So it looks like the three of you got something in common.
Dave's negative.
It's almost like you guys know each other. So it's like most of we've had him on the podcast. I don't know.
Nope.
Anyway, my wow that's
Dave
bold. Dave, exactly. Dave who. My wow that's bold is that both teams combined are going to score under 40 points, gentlemen.
That's
under
bold.
40 points in the Super Bowl.
That's really bold.
I think the O-line problems for the Chiefs are going to kind of rear its head a little bit. They're going to have a slow start, kind of like last Super Bowl.
Yep.
And I think that'll allow the game to stay a little closer than people think it would normally.
I don't think you're off base.
It's just, occasionally I have a good thought every now and again, and then occasionally I go completely off the rails, and while that's bold.
Usually you go off the rails.
I
like that you kept it calm.
And at least this time it wasn't Jordan Reed doing something.
It's true. Hey, if Jordan Reed could have magically somehow done something, that would have been incredible.
Right.
Been the craziest thing that's ever
Or I'm
happened.
surprised we didn't get a break, catches 3 touchdowns.
I mean, yeah.
Dave told me to shut up.
He did tell me to shut up. He did tell me to shut up. But now, gentlemen, we have a very fun segment, a segment that we all enjoy. And if I'm not mistaken, I think we got a special guest for this segment.
Is he from the Azores?
I think he might be from the Azores.
The Azorian one, baby!
He's back. It's time for Lock It Up.
What's up, Cutback? What? You're surprised to see me? You're surprised to see the Azorian one here? Why would I miss this episode? This is the Super Bowl episode. Can't miss this. This is an extravaganza. A pinnacle of podcast episodes. It's the showcase of... Maybe not that. It's a different event. But you get what I'm saying. I had to come back for this and give you my pick. My Lock It Up pick for the Super Bowl this Sunday. And sadly, our boys couldn't be there. And not only could our boys not be there, but the guys who stole the Lombardi trophy from us last year are back in it. Like the heels they are. Don't get me wrong. I usually like heels. And if there's any time where a Super Bowl would feature 2 heels going at it, it's this Super Bowl. On one end, who do we got? Tom Brady and Gronk. Last year they were Patriots. Well, who knows what Gronk was doing? He's probably shoulder bumping a wrestler. But last year Brady was a Patriot. This year he's a Buccaneer. And he's back in the Super Bowl. Going for his 7th championship. You saw the video. It's all over social media. The night that the Buccaneers won the NFC Championship. You got Brady and Gronk with the selfie video, strutting with the swagger, showing their t-shirt. You can't tell me you didn't watch that and see glimpses of Kevin Nash and Scott Hall, or Shawn Michaels and Triple H. That click, swagger. Just need a little bit of this, that's all. A little bit of that. They had it. You had to feel it. You had to at least appreciate the click feeling they gave you. But then, on the other side, you got the Chiefs returning to go back to back. And if Brady and Gronk are Nash and Hall, or Michaels and Helmsley, you gotta look at the Chiefs and think, Bullet Club? Maybe? Going for back-to-back? What could be just a second in a line of championships? Who knows? And if none of you have ever watched wrestling, you have no idea what my comparisons mean. But just Google it after this video. Just Google it. So here I am now, having to pick between these two heels. Do I want the Click, or do I want the Bullet Club? Do I want the Buccaneers with Tom Brady and Gronk, or do I want Mahomes and the Chiefs, the new bloods looking to dethrone the old king? It's a tough decision, especially given the events of last year. And some of you may disagree with me, but I think this Sunday there will be a changing of the guard. So, my pick for Lock It Up, for Super Bowl Lock It Up, I'm taking the Chiefs over the Buccaneers. That's right. You may hate me over this. You may be screaming at me right now. But you know what? When the dust settles, the smoke clears, and the people are done chanting their names, we will see who will hold up the Lombardi Trophy. So with that said, there's only one question for all of you in the Cutback. Are you ready? I said, are you ready?
I'm ready. Whoo!
I was ready until I saw that video.
Oh my word!
By the way, Anthony, I really enjoyed you flexing your right arm into the camera every chance you got. That was solid.
That was impressive.
You might want to be clear. I was not the one flexing.
Excuse me, the Azorian Anthony.
Thank you for clarifying. I don't want people to think that I stand in the mirror and flex all the time.
Or that I enjoy it.
Yeah. He does enjoy it, though.
He does.
I would.
He does enjoy it, but no, we enjoyed it. Oh man, we got a couple boos in the chat. We got some people talking about the real MVP being a certain chair in the room. I mean, that's we got some roasting going on here. My goodness, the chat's getting a little hectic. Lock it up. He picked the Chiefs. All of us got a team we got to pick here. I'm assuming we're gonna have a nice round table here going on. Oh my word, almighty! Ant, what do you got for Lock It Up for this Super Bowl contest?
This is going to be a great game. I think that, just the whole atmosphere is going to be electric. You got these two great superstars at quarterback, a lot of speed and talent on both teams, young superstars, pretty good defenses on both sides. I think the game could go either way. I do trust Andy Reid a lot more than Bruce Arians, so that automatically makes me lean towards the Chiefs. Plus, I think if the NFL could write a script, this would be it. This is the passing of the torch moment that they need for Patrick Mahomes to elevate to the top of the game and take over and be the new Tom Brady, or hopefully the new Tom Brady for the next several years, and just lead the NFL to the next stratosphere of viewership and what they really want leading into these 17-game seasons. So I got the Kansas City Chiefs doing just enough thanks to the Honey Badger with his 2 interceptions, winning the game 38-27.
Whew.
Yeah, for all I've said, I think that the Chiefs will win, like I've been saying. But I think the Bucs are going to give them a little bit of problems. They're a good team, a veteran team, a well-coached team. And I know Bruce Arians is famous for the line, if we lose, we booze. Well, he's going to be doing some boozing on Sunday night. I have that this being a close game up until around midway to the third, end of the third quarter. I have the Chiefs pulling away. I'm going to say 35-21.
Nice. I got them jumping out to a little bit of a 10-7 lead at halftime. They score another touchdown in the third to make it 17-7, and then kick a field goal in the fourth to kind of put the game away. And the Buccaneers, with about a minute and a half left, punch one in, hit the 2-point conversion to give themselves a shot, but the onside kick fails. The Chiefs run out the clock. Tight game, closer than I think people think it would be. Not as high scoring as I think a lot of people expect. 20-15 Chiefs, and they win the Super Bowl, and that's a clean sweep on this podcast.
20-15?
20-15. It's an interesting Super Bowl.
The only thing worse than that 15 score is Patrick Mahomes' haircut.
How many pots have you smoking?
Oh, so many. All of the smoking pots.
Wow, 20-15. Okay.
Hey, it's going to happen.
Somebody picked the score using a dartboard.
That's basically what happened. I was eyes closed, left-handed.
Touchdowns were 7, not 5, right?
I said a 2-point conversion. It was going to be 10-7.
Okay.
Yeah, no,
He threw the dart left-handed with Tua Tagovailoa's
You're
arm.
supposed to be the math expert on this podcast.
I'm the math expert?
Yeah, you're supposed to be. You're supposed to be the math expert.
All right.
He's the one that's done all the mathematician.
All the math.
Doesn't matter.
Yep.
You can move on from here.
I think so.
Lock it up. We all picked the Chiefs. That's incredible. Who would have saw that coming?
Anyone that watched football
Pretty
all
much
year.
anyone, and especially since in our prediction show, I picked the Chiefs to win the Super Bowl, so I wasn't going to move off that.
Nice job, Bills.
Good job, Bills. Way to go. Way to go. But now it's time for Q&A. Woo! That's right, folks. You're going to send us those questions. We're going to give you some answers best we
We
can.
already
anyway.
have some.
We do have some.
Oh.
We do have some questions coming through and coming in. So one of them that I saw earlier. What's the deal? Do you think we have a shot at Watson, and would you give up Bosa to get him from Kenny Seger?
I think there is a chance to get Deshaun Watson if they move off what they're wanting right now. The fact that they want 2 number 1s, 2 number 2s, and 2 young defensive starters would mean that the 49ers' 2 young defensive starters would be a combination of what? Bosa, Kinlaw, or Warner, Greenlaw, any of those guys, maybe Tarvarius Moore. Those guys would be the guys that would be traded. To me, that's just too much.
Yeah.
The question is, would the deal for 2 firsts and Nick Bosa get it done? The worry is, I think Nick Bosa, if you traded him separately, is worth 2 first-round picks by himself. So you're basically trading the Houston Texans 4 first-round picks for Deshaun Watson.
It's a lot.
That is a little rich for me. I think that hamstrings your team for the future. I'm not sure I could do that. And I was even tempered about Nick Bosa coming in, but I still think that is a lot to ask.
Yeah, they're asking a little too much for him. Deshaun Watson is a heck of a player. They are asking a little too much for him. You can't kill your whole franchise over going to get one good player. Not to mention, my thoughts on the team are still that they have quite a few holes to fill this offseason. And quarterback is not at the top. I think it is something that they could improve at, but I don't think it's the very top thing. And to me, if you're giving up 2 first-round picks, you better be improving the thing that's most wrong with your team.
Yeah, it's a lot to get. The 2 first and Bosa just seems like a smidge too much. I would understand if they pulled the trigger, because if the front office feels like it is the biggest issue and that Deshaun Watson fixes all of your offensive problems and woes, like some of the O-line blocking issues, if you honestly truly believe that, then I could see them giving it up. I wouldn't do it personally. I think it's just a smidge too much. That's too many picks. It's too much of your future to bet on one guy. And the whole reason that he's leaving the Texans and wanting out is because he doesn't believe in the direction of the franchise. He believes that they've kind of just gone off the rails and made too many stupid decisions. If you trade away that much to get someone like him, you may be setting yourself up for the same issue down the road in a couple of years. And who's to say he doesn't get disenfranchised with the Niners and wants out as well, or isn't willing to re-sign? Then you basically traded away, your franchise defensive end pass rusher and 2 first-round picks for a guy that you're going to borrow for a few years.
Do I have any doubt that Deshaun Watson would make the 49ers better?
Absolutely.
No. But let's all remember that in 2019, a healthy Jimmy Garoppolo helped the 49ers average 30 points a game. That is enough to win a Super Bowl.
Exactly.
They can win a Super Bowl with a healthy Jimmy Garoppolo.
Agreed with you there.
So real quick, I want to shout out Kenny Seeger.
Yeah.
For the nice comments he's been making.
Absolutely.
I hope you keep enjoying the show. I hope you're enjoying today's. Our next comment on here question is from Megan D. Who do you guys think is the biggest threat for the Bucs defense? And I'm assuming she means on the Bucs defense.
I would assume it's on the Bucs defense.
I don't know her, so I don't know.
No, you don't know her. Not even a little bit. That's a tough one for me because there's a lot of guys that could potentially be a problem and be an issue. I think the guy that's the biggest key, for me, it's Ndamukong Suh. Ndamukong Suh needs to play like the guy we all think Ndamukong Suh is and the guy that Ndamukong Suh has been portrayed to be in the NFL. He's been a solid player. He's played really well. He's aggressive. He's great against the run. He's intimidating and doesn't give up a lot of ground. Not a terrible pass rusher, although not the greatest. But he needs to kind of, with this depleted Chiefs O-line, for the Bucs to have success on defense, he's got to be able to help create a pass rush up the middle. He's got to be able to help against the run game. And as you pointed out, him and Vita Vea aren't great against the outside zone run, so they cannot get exploited in the run game and allow Patrick Mahomes to get out of third and short situations or taking second and longs and turning them into third and shorts. They need to do a great job of kind of stifling that run game, slowing it down, not giving them a whole lot, and also trying to find a way to put pressure on Mahomes so that he's making uncomfortable throws from the pocket. Patrick Mahomes makes most throws really well, even when there's a lot of pressure and when he's uncomfortable. But he's bound to make mistakes if you're making him throw from an uncomfortable, not set, secure base than he is if you just let him do whatever he wants in the pocket and get out of the pocket willy-nilly.
Yeah, I think you're right. It's the defensive line. I think it's more so instead of one player, it's actually the whole defensive line because they put pressure on him with the front four, then they'll be able to help stop Patrick Mahomes. If they have to bring blitz, Patrick Mahomes actually obliterates the blitz. He's very dominant. That's what the 49ers had success with, not bringing blitzes. They were able to get to him with the front four. If the Buccaneers can do that, then yes, they can hold Patrick Mahomes. If not, then they're going to be in a world of hurt if they start bringing linebackers and stuff on blitzes. Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill will carve them up.
I'm going to go with someone a little different, and if it was only a few weeks ago, I might not have gone with this person. But you mentioned him earlier. Antoine Winfield Jr. has been locked down throughout the last few games of the season and this playoff run, and I think he's a dangerous guy out there. He's been coming up with a lot of turnovers, breaking up a lot of passes, and he could cause a problem out there for Mahomes. I don't know that he can cover Tyreek Hill one-on-one. I don't know that anyone can because Tyreek Hill is a freak. But if anyone in their secondary is going to cause an issue and make a big play on Sunday, it's going to be Winfield.
Very well could be. Coach Ralph had a question for us, and it is Edwards-Helaire healthy to play? I do believe he is, guys. Consensus on that?
I saw a preliminary injury report, and he should be good to go. Okay,
so Edwards-Helaire, you heard it here first. Good to go this weekend. Another question from Megan Davidson. I think she had a clarification on her question, it looks like. Biggest threat on KC's offense to the Bucs defense.
I'm gonna go with Patrick Mahomes.
Man, that's a.
If we're going anyone other than Patrick Mahomes, I would say Tyreek Hill.
I would say Travis Kelce.
I would say Travis Kelce as well, and it's only because Travis Kelce is kind of that security blanket. If the pass rush is there and he doesn't have time to wait for Tyreek Hill to clear the second level, third level on his routes, on his deep route combinations, then Travis Kelce is going to be the guy he's going to be looking to for majority of the night.
Well, the first time they played Tyreek Hill went off on Tampa Bay. They were going to make a concerted effort to make sure they stop him, and Travis Kelce's going to operate underneath and make plays.
By the way, they are saying Sammy Watkins will be playing this week.
He is questionable.
Yeah. But it looks like he will be on the field.
Well, questionable. It's not doubtful, so he probably will play.
Also true. Maverick and Goose also wanted to know if I thought it was a good idea to wear the black jersey with no undershirt. And what he doesn't understand is it is hot as all can be in this studio when you're in here for prolonged periods of time, good sir.
Dude sweats.
Dude sweats are all over the place. So yes, listen, it was a great idea to wear no undershirt. I'm not sweating as bad. It's wonderful. Also black, you can't see the pit stains. You're welcome, everybody.
That is a solid point.
It's true. It's very true. doesn't look like we're getting much more questions. So if we get any between now and ending the stream, then we'll go back. We'll come back and answer some of your questions. But to wrap this all up, this was a lot of fun. We enjoyed this. Make sure, if you haven't already, you need to hit that subscribe button right now. Go down, red button, smash that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so that way you're notified every time that our episodes come out, which is Tuesdays and Fridays at 5:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Pacific Standard Time.
Why are you getting so angry?
I don't know.
You don't want to miss any of this great content. You want to be here for everything we got coming up. Potential future live streams, more mock drafts, which remember, part 2 of the mock draft series of our rankings for the mock draft comes out this Tuesday at 5:30. You don't want to miss that. We're going to talk about the running backs. It's going to be a great episode.
Yep. Go ahead, Horst.
We do have 2 questions that just came
Ooh, 2 more that just came up. Let's go back.
Number 1 is very important. It comes from the Azorian one.
Oh,
Okay.
What suit will the Weeknd be wearing at halftime?
Ooh,
That's
a great question.
I'm going to go with some sort of majestic blue-purple type color.
Blue purple type
like a whole Purple Rain thing.
Yeah, something to that effect.
Okay. I mean, maybe. I could see him going with a little bit more of a red-black scheme to honor both teams, since both teams' primary colors are red, and he's been doing this red-themed jacket, and most of his music videos have been coming out, so I think he sticks with the red.
I'm going to go with gold. You're a championship, it's going gold.
Oh, okay.
And then the second one is from Kenny. Do you think we look at Will Fuller, knowing games he has to sit out, but that if we get him cheap, that might help get Deshaun Watson?
That's not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea.
Something to look at.
It's
for
something.
sure.
It's definitely something to evaluate. The real question would be what his market value is, how much he would cost to get in. Because long term, you think long term with a guy like that. Because short term, you could sign him to a prove it deal sort of thing with all the injury history he has, and now the testing positive for PEDs. Besides that, it's a possibility. The real question is can he stay on the field once he comes back?
Well, the other thing to examine is with DeAndre Hopkins playing with him, his numbers are fantastic.
Correct.
He looked like a big-time superstar.
Absolutely.
This year, without DeAndre Hopkins, not so good for Will Fuller. So the fact that the Texans kind of cut bait on him makes me question, but we do need a down-the-field threat. We've already brought up John Ross in one of our previous videos.
We did.
Will Fuller is that kind of mold, so maybe he's an option there. But you're right, he doesn't stay healthy very often, so that's a big question mark for him. But at the right price, he might be interesting.
Frankly, I think that the chances of him ending up on the Niners are doubtful. They're probably going to go with a cheaper option for the downfield threat, like bring back Travis Benjamin, who sat out for COVID, a John Ross type, someone to that effect. I don't think that's honestly going to affect the trade for Watson too much. I do agree that it might entice him to go there. I know they're supposed to be friends, but Watson doesn't have much choice in where he ends up. So
yeah, he does.
I think he does.
I think he has more.
He has a no trade clause.
That's true. He does have a no trade clause, and I think he's got a little more leverage. I think he is willing to actually sit out the season if they don't trade him.
Agreed, but do you think that anywhere they trade him, he's just going to be like, good riddance and go? Do you really think he's going to use that no trade clause?
I think he will. I think depending on where he's going to go, I think there's certain situations he don't want to be in. He's got 4 or 5 places that he's looking at that he really wants to go, and that's where he'll go. And if he doesn't get those type of places, then he'll probably just sit and wait until he does get to one of those places. Because you know as well as I do that if a team really knows Deshaun Watson wants to go there, they will make the Texans take a lower deal to get him. And if they know the more Watson leverages them, the less the Texans are going to get, which makes more teams available for him to push his way to.
True.
That is accurate. Megan Davidson with another question. What do you guys think the number one thing is the Niners have to do this offseason or next season to get back to the Super Bowl?
Rehab.
Yep.
Injuries, folks.
Stay healthy.
I mean rehabbing injuries, folks, not the other kind of rehab.
So we're not bringing in Josh Gordon.
It's a good chance it's not going to happen.
I think he's impervious to rehab.
Oh, jeez, Louise, man, impervious. Will we get another Warner this draft? I'm assuming he means Fred Warner. So will we draft another Fred Warner-esque player this draft?
Just somewhere in those middle rounds, somebody that can step up to.
Or
alpha
does he
level.
mean his brother?
I don't know.
Troy Warner. From
That's
BYU.
right. That's
I mean,
right. Yeah.
I think that they will find somebody in the middle rounds. They have consistently from that whole 3 to 5. They found somebody that's really good. They'll probably find someone this year that we'll all get very acquainted with. As training camp goes and into the regular season, and they'll probably be big time for the 49ers.
Yeah, if they're going to take a linebacker, it's going to be there. It's going to be late in the draft, and I need to watch a little bit more tape probably on Mr. Troy Warner.
I just know who he is. I don't know.
I'm still hoping for Skalski.
I mean, Skalski's nice. He's nice, and you can get him late.
And Justin Fields is scared of him.
He is terrified of him.
Kenny wants to know if we think there's anything to our names being linked to Aaron Jones. He feels that we don't need him. Why put money to the position when we are okay there?
We're not going to go after Aaron Jones. It's the same thing as the Kirk Cousins rumors that have been going around. There's no substantiation to any of that. The people who are putting that out are I think they're just trying to report on stuff that they think is going to draw attention and get some clicks because Aaron Jones is a big name and there's the Aaron Rodgers connection, and maybe that, if there's interest there, then that draws in a potential Rodgers thing, and you have more about Rodgers that you can talk about, and the Niners need a quarterback. The Niners are not going to go sign a big name free agent running back and pay them a lot of money.
I don't think the 49ers are ever going to pay a running back over $5 million. So
No. So, yeah, anytime the running back name comes on the market and they say that they're interested in playing in San Francisco, keep in mind, they're interested in playing San Francisco until the discussions with John Lynch come, and John Lynch goes, listen, we want to pay you $3.5, maybe $4 million. And then they're like, either, all right, I'm going to bite the bullet and come here and try and win a Super Bowl and have some success and revitalize my career as a running back in Kyle Shanahan's offense and get paid somewhere else. Or they're going to be like, yeah, later, I'm not doing that. I'm not going to take that kind of money.
The 3 running backs on the 49ers roster right now are all undrafted. I think that's the avenue. They're going to keep going. Somebody super fast.
Or
that can
maybe
play.
late round.
Maybe a late round, but somebody super fast that can run the outside zone.
So Gary did clarify that he was talking about his brother.
And that he's a safety.
Now we know Fred, because Gary pointed out that, and thank you for commenting, Gary.
Appreciate it.
Fred was a nickel hybrid big safety in college. And I'm going to be honest with you, I didn't watch enough of his brother to have a comment on how good of a player he is. That is something that, as far as me, as far as I go, I'm going to have to wait and check out some tape on Troy. I believe his name is Troy Warner, to be able to give you a good answer. Gary, I don't know too much about him or how he would fit the Niners, but that's a good question. We'll have to get back to you when we do our scouting stuff that we are going to be coming out with.
Yep.
So you'll have to hold on till then, but that's a good question. Unfortunately, me personally, I'm not informed.
No, I think you're right. I think we all need to wait and take a really good look at him because we haven't broke him down. So that would be kind of premature for us to comment big time on him unless we do the work.
He's got the name recognition. He's got the NFL bloodline, obviously. So
and they're going to feel comfortable with any character traits that he has.
Correct.
But he's completely right. A guy that plays that safety linebacker mold, they've been doing this a lot and playing him in the linebacker role. So he might be somebody they look at. I'm actually intrigued to watch the film now. I want to break it down.
He's definitely going to be, I think, all over all of our radars now. So, Gary, keep that information to yourself. Don't share that with any podcast.
Thanks, Gary. I appreciate it.
And thank you, Gary, just threw out that he just found us and we're his favorite channel. Thank you. We appreciate it. Hope you subscribe and keep checking out our content. You can go back. We have a lot out there that if you just found us that you can check out.
Oh, yeah.
And subscribe so you don't miss anything in the future.
Big time. Absolutely subscribe for more in the future. It looks like we got another question.
I do like Tommy Huxley's no Mac Jones, please.
Yeah, Tommy is not a fan of Mac Jones.
Not a question, but that's a solid comment, Tommy.
Solid comment. And
I agree with you.
I don't think anyone in the 49ers front office is looking at Mac Jones as an option for the 49ers. I think they're looking to get away from that kind of mold.
Unless, what if Mac Jones is in the second round?
God, don't talk about that. I'm
just saying.
It could still happen. Okay, we have, do you guys see a surprise cut to free up cap money that hasn't been mentioned yet? Kenny, yet again.
Ooh, that's a good question.
It is.
Yeah.
Surprise cuts, guys.
Yeah, surprise cuts. I mean, there's not a lot of guys that are a surprise that they could cut. that would save the 49ers a lot of money. Just the way that the contracts are worked. I think everyone's already talked about the big names already. I mean, I think some of the things that you would have to ask is like Raheem Mostert. I know there's some injury concerns there. He might be somebody that they might be thinking about cutting or trading. I didn't hear that anywhere. That's just somebody that I'm kind of just, spitballing. But I don't know. Do you guys have somebody?
I mean, to me, at this moment, the way things have shook out, unless we draft someone, to me, the most surprising cut would be Jimmy to save money. But it's still, there's a realm of possibility of that one happening.
Sure.
Yeah.
Outside of him, I just really don't see, because to me, all the guys that maybe they could spare or money-wise, because everyone's mentioned D. Ford, everyone's mentioned Richburg, everyone's mentioned guys like that. To me, all the guys like Kendrick Bourne, Chakowski Tart, those guys are free agents.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, of course, Mark and Zocha, right?
That's true. There's Mark and Zocha. I'll give you one that Grant Cohn's probably sitting there right now waiting to put this video. He's waiting for some word. Jimmy Ward.
I think the cap hit is big.
It is. It might. Is it really?
Yeah.
Okay.
I believe he's an $11 million guy this year, and I believe it's like $9 or $10 million against the cap. I'm not 100%.
So you don't really.
But I believe
anything.
I believe it's a big number.
Okay, but I can still see Grant Cohn after watching this podcast and me saying Jimmy Ward being like, "That's it, I got it, I got all I needed," and he goes on this.
He would love to cut Jimmy Ward.
He doesn't do anything.
Well,
he just doesn't like Jimmy's.
No, it's
true.
It actually is a big question because once again, our safeties didn't produce too many turnovers. We're not getting that. I mean, I think about the great teams that we had. They always had safeties that produced turnovers. You had back in the day Ronnie Lott, Merton Hanks, Tim McDonald. Then you had Whitner. And, the Hawk. So, I mean, we had guys, but these guys don't really do turnovers very well.
No.
Niner Joe Empire just commented, too, that the Niners are going to sign Alex Mack. And we're so glad that you made that comment, because if you're not subscribed, you should subscribe, because tomorrow's episode specifically talks about center free agents that the 49ers can sign. And who knows? Maybe we're already all over this, and Alex Mack is going to be a focus of tomorrow's discussion. I guess you'll just have to subscribe and find out tomorrow at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
Specifically.
Jeez Louise.
Tommy Huxley and Ryan Bose are wondering if Josh Rosen is better than Jimmy G.
No.
I'm not going to be disrespectful to anyone who comments on our page, but I'm not a fan of Josh Rosen.
Well, the reason being, Grant Cohn talked about this today.
He did.
That if he was quality control coach, this would be the guy. He's already on the roster. Blah, blah, blah.
If he was quality control.
Yeah. Okay. Let me get this straight. Okay. Josh Rosen has a wealth of talent.
He does.
But these guys can concur that since Josh Rosen is in college, I said he's garbage. I was right about Jared Goff. I'm right about this guy. This guy's done. He's garbage. Nobody should actually think Josh Rosen is a legitimate option for the 49ers as a starting quarterback.
Okay.
Nobody.
No, he's not at all in any way, shape, or form. There's a reason the Cardinals moved on from him as quickly as they did. There's the reason Miami Dolphins moved on from them as quick as he did. The only reason the Niners brought him in was as a veteran, stable presence in case something happened to C.J. Beathard, because
and I think
Josh Johnson got on the COVID.
And I think UCLA didn't even want him anymore.
There's a chance that last year they didn't want him.
So we have a question from the Azorian one. Who outperforms the other in a Super Bowl matchup? Steamin' Willie Beeman or Mike Winchell? I'm taking Steamin' Willie Beeman, being he was already in the pros at the point the movie was made, and Mike Winchell is a average to above average high school quarterback.
No, I'm going with Mike Winchell, guys. He has the loss, the big. He's been through the ringer. He understands what coming up short is like. He's definitely going to get over the hump against Steamin' Willie Beeman.
Well, I think Steamin' Willie Beeman couldn't do it without a star running back. However, Mike Winchell did it without Boobie Miles.
It's true.
I think Mike Winchell recovers from getting to the 1 yard line, pushes all the way through, and Mike Winchell's the winner.
I'm loving this right now. We have Ryan Bose and Tommy Huxley again saying they would rather have Rosen better than Pick Mullins. I'm just letting you two know you're our kind of guys, because we are not fans of Nick Mullins or solid nickname Pick Mullins.
Yeah, it's a great nickname. We should have came up with that. Dang it.
We really like that. We wish we would have come up with that name ourselves.
It's a good one. Yeah. I like that.
Yeah, no Mullins.
Yeah, no Nick Mullins. I mean, I hope to God that Josh Rosen isn't the only option. to sign as a backup.
I don't even think he's the best Josh option. Josh Jones over him, or Josh Johnson. I'm sorry,
Josh Johnson. I'd rather have Josh Johnson.
Maybe we should bring in Josh Jones.
Is that Josh Rosen and Mac Jones?
Is
that Josh Rosen and Mac Jones meshed into one? Tommy Huxley's about to blow. He's about to lose it. He's about to completely flop in. Joshua and Josh. No. Go crazy.
So what do you guys think? This comes from Kenny. The Niners trading a 2 for Stephen Gilmore if that's all the Pats wanted for him.
Yep.
Done.
You are
done.
I agree.
I'm in.
If that's
a 2 for that, yeah.
Especially his contract is very friendly for this cap season. That's a 100% make that move.
Oh man, your cornerback situation is fixed. It's fixed with that move.
If you re-sign Jason Verrett and then you trade for him with a second-round pick, your defensive backs the best secondary you've had in the last 10 years.
And you don't necessarily have to now address it in the first few rounds of the draft.
You don't. In fact, you don't address it in the first few rounds.
Yeah, you wait until later.
Yeah.
You try and find a gem somewhere else, develop a guy.
Well, you have other options that you can bring in that already know your scheme.
Also true.
So.
Yes, that was a Friday Night Lights reference, Tommy Huxley. That was.
And Ryan wants to know, he thinks Ford is done. Hyder is going to get paid. Who will be the edge rusher? I think we don't all agree that Ford is done. We do agree that Hyder's going to get broke off here in free agency.
Yeah, he'll get paid.
And I think he's honestly, in my opinion, he's going to get paid a little too much for the Niners to be able to keep him.
Maybe the Jets?
Yeah, I think that's a good place to look for him to end up is in New York with Saleh.
Yeah.
Because they have the money to do so. Correct. I think he's going to be a little out of the Niners' price range, unfortunately. He's a guy that I really like. And if you're the third part, who would be the edge rusher? I don't know. So it's one of the things they need, as I referenced, having bigger holes than quarterback earlier in the show.
Yeah,
that's one of them.
Well, if they know that D Ford is gone, out, kind of like the whole Joe Staley, maybe they're asking, the last second that he's done. Maybe they go with a Gregory Rousseau or somebody like that with pick 12.
Yep.
That might be an option.
They may be able to even trade back at that position, too, if Rousseau's there on the board with other talented players. They may be able to trade back and get him as well and grab some other picks in the process. The video came out yesterday. The Aldon Smith video came out yesterday. Aldon Smith is entirely an option and a possibility. He isn't going to cost too much money. And as I said in yesterday's episode, I think he's a better player than Kerry Hyder overall in terms of the speed aspect, because that's the area that Kerry Hyder lacked. And he was a great pass rusher, but he couldn't get to those quick quarterbacks. And the NFL's moving to more mobile quarterbacks. You need a guy with a little more speed.
I think another thing to remember is before we get to the opening of the NFL season, a lot of teams are going to have to cut to get below the salary cap. Once the salary cap is set, then these guys can get down. Just like I know everyone says J.J. Watt, and I'm going to make an argument that that's a possibility. Right now, the Houston Texans are $17 million over the projected cap. J.J. Watt makes $17.5 million. If they cut him, there's no cap hit. So it might be finally that time. Those are the kind of players that you might get see moved. I'm not saying it's going to absolutely happen. If I was Houston, I wouldn't do it. But I'm just saying there's going to be good players that get cut because of the salary cap.
Another one we brought up is Von Miller. He's in Denver. He's coming off a couple injuries now. He's clearly been in some legal trouble. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see how that develops because nothing's really come out about exactly what it is. It's little bits and pieces, but we don't know how far. Is it bad enough that the NFL is going to?
I don't think it's going to be. The information that is coming out, his wife or his girlfriend came out and essentially said that she doesn't understand what they're investigating him for. That there's no issues at the home. Right. There's been no issues at the home. She didn't report anything. There's a lot of things going on about that. It's a little suspicious and odd that they're investigating him and that there's no information coming out, which tells me one of a few things. Either A, someone is effing with Von Miller, and it could be a close personal friend. It could be some other issues going on. Maybe it's a teammate issue. I don't know. Or it's super serious. And we're talking higher than just, local police department. You're looking at a federal investigation, and that would be why no information is coming out. At this point, who knows?
January 15th, a spokeswoman for the district attorney said that they have absolutely no case. So as of right now, they have no case. So they looked into it.
It's a nothing
they have
burger.
No case.
Yep. Nothing burger.
Yeah.
And come to San Francisco.
So
Right.
Ivan.
with the strength of all these, maybe one day we need to do just a solid Q&A live podcast coming up.
Yep, I like it.
I agree as well. There's another question as well. What do you guys think KC will do in regards to next year's salary and any big player cuts that could be coming to San Francisco or that you'd be interested in coming to San Francisco? I'm not entirely sure how Kansas City has managed to wave a magic wand over their salary cap. I don't know what their guy's doing in there. In 5 years, we're either going to find out that they did some shenanigans and they're going to have to cut like half their roster, or the dude doing the salary cap for the Kansas City Chiefs is about to be like the next greatest front office GM of all time.
Well, Sammy Watkins is coming off the books.
For sure.
So that's happening. They're going to have a couple offensive linemen that they're going to have to cut. That'll come off the books. They're already proving they can win with, a makeshift offensive line. So don't be surprised if that happens. So those will be a couple of them. I'm sure at some point they are going to have to address the D-line issue because they have two very high-priced guys there, but not this year probably.
But let's be honest, to answer the end of the question, there's about 10 guys on the Chiefs that I'd love to see come to San Francisco.
Yeah.
there's a lot of players in the Chiefs, especially on the offensive side of the football.
I don't know. You're talking Frank Clark, Chris Jones,
Also
Honey Badger.
that too. Honey Badger.
I love the Honey Badger.
My guy Sorensen.
Yeah.
I don't like Sorensen.
I don't like Sorensen.
No, I don't like Sorensen.
I like him.
No, not a fan.
I'm sure you do.
Shocked. Absolutely
Right.
stunned.
Horse kind of guy.
My kind of guy, Pat Mac. I'd like to see Pat McAfee punting the football in San Francisco. That'll never happen, though. That'd be sad.
Nope, not even a little bit.
Not even the smidge.
So
a smidge.
what do you guys want to do? Like 1 or 2 more questions?
Yeah, let's do two more.
Okay,
Two
so
more.
we have 2 more sitting here.
Perfect.
Kenny says, can you see the 49ers picking up Ertz and running 2 tight end sets?
Yeah, I could see it. He fits the kind of Jordan Reed mold of a guy who can kind of play in the hybrid power slot like you talked about all the time, Ant. Good route runner, great hands. Questions of the health are a concern, but if you're using him in the Jordan Reed kind of mold, you're not expecting him to be on the field a whole lot. Question is he willing to not take a big, huge, fat contract in order to try and win another Super Bowl? He already has one under his belt. He's probably not looking for that. He's probably looking for his last big payday.
Yeah, I think he's kind of getting towards the end of his career. I like the player. I know there's been a lot of talk about Kyle possibly running a lot more 2 tight end sets this year. I'm not sure if that's accurate. I think he had to deviate from his game plan that he really wanted to run this year.
With Jalen Hurd.
And I think that if Jalen Hurd is healthy, that will be the ultimate change in offensive scheme for him. And I think that the second tight end a lot of times is going to be more of an H-back style. If they bring back Kyle Juszczyk, that'll be the answer to that. But now I don't know if they're going to bring back Ross Dwelly. So that'll be interesting, what they decide there. But I mean, besides Ertz just taking, a very small contract, I don't see him fitting for the 49ers.
Yeah, I agree. I think Kyle was trying to do that when he signed Jordan Reed this offseason.
Yeah.
But I don't know that Ertz actually fits what he's trying to do there. Ertz isn't... He's towards the end of his road. Young Ertz, yes, fits that mold. The current iteration of Ertz, I don't know if he does. But I wouldn't be shocked if there was another guy like that.
But if they're that high on getting a second tight end, why wouldn't you just trade up a few spots and draft Kyle Pitts?
True.
I mean, if you're really dead set on that is the guy, the prototypical guy that fits the mold, the Jordan Reed mold that you needed. So why not just get him?
Yeah, I would say that's probably the route that you would go because you don't have to pay him a lot. He's on a rookie salary.
Yeah.
You get him around for 4 or 5 years. You can extend that contract. Then he's
Plus
a restricted.
6'6".
Yeah, he's freaking.
And you can't teach that.
You can't teach that. And on top of that, he's a wonderful Florida Gator. Another great question we had coming through was
Sanders.
I keep hearing Emmanuel Sanders is coming back from Ryan. He wants to know our thoughts. Do we think Emmanuel Sanders is coming back to San Francisco?
The question is, New Orleans going to cut him? I mean, if
Did
they do,
how many years did he
signed
sign?
a 2-year deal, but he signed 2 years thinking he was going to play 2 years with Drew Brees.
Correct.
So would Emmanuel Sanders probably want out? Yes. Would they maybe want to cut him because of salary cap issues? Yes. I mean, I don't think that Kyle Shanahan has any ill will towards Emmanuel Sanders. I think that if he came back for a cheaper amount of money, I definitely think I would welcome him back. Now the question is going to be though for all these 49er fans, if Emmanuel Sanders comes back, Kendrick Bourne is probably gone.
Yeah.
So are you okay with trading Emmanuel Sanders, not trade, but, swapping Emmanuel Sanders for Kendrick Bourne?
Yeah, I think there's a really good chance Sanders doesn't end up on the Saints next year because Sanders was kind of expressing anger at his usage in New Orleans around week 10, week 11.
Yeah.
So there's a big time chance that goes on. As far as the Niners, there definitely was no ill will between him and the 49ers coaches, players, locker room.
Yep.
If you actually follow him on his social medias, the different Niners players were wishing him good luck ahead of their playoff game.
Mm-hmm.
So there's definitely love still there. The question is, does Emmanuel Sanders want to play for $3 million a year? Because he's not going to be able to get a big contract out of San Francisco. They don't have it. And two, is he okay playing third banana behind Deebo Samuel and Brandon Ayuk?
Yeah.
And then almost fourth because of Kittle.
But Jimmy Garoppolo was tremendously better with Emmanuel Sanders.
Agreed.
Emmanuel Sanders is the experienced guy, and I think that I would 100% go Emmanuel Sanders over Kendrick Bourne. I don't know how everyone else feels about that, but I would.
I mean, there's a couple people here saying they would enjoy Kendrick Bourne, and we all know how I feel about Kendrick Bourne. So, yeah, I would much rather have Emmanuel Sanders. At least I don't have to worry about him dropping balls on crucial downs. I don't have to worry about the stupid celebrations when we're down 30. I just got a guy who's going to go out and do his job and set a good example for the young guys. Good example for Brandon Ayuk. Good example for Deebo Samuel, because both of them are still young. They're developing as players. And what I don't want is our two guys that we're hoping are our franchise wide receivers for years to come to start developing bad habits. And
imagine the things that Emmanuel Sanders could teach Brandon Ayuk, young Brandon Ayuk.
In terms of route running,
film study, just knowing how to get in and out of his breaks, all the different little ins and outs, when to sit down, when not to. I mean, that's invaluable.
I know we said 2 more questions, but this question was too good to pass up.
Got it.
Niner Joe Empire says, do you see the 49ers trading with the Jets to draft Zach Wilson?
It all depends on what the Jets want. I mean,
if they know that the Niners want Zach Wilson too, they are going to try and finesse the living crap out of us for that pick.
Now, since people have been throwing out Nick Bosa, would the Jets do a Nick Bosa for the number 2 pick? And would 49er fans be willing to take that? Would you want Zach Wilson for Nick Bosa? Nope. Because that's probably what it's going to take.
Nope.
From Robert Saleh. He's going to want to cherry pick one of his big-time players.
Nope. Robert, I love you. Nope.
Yeah.
Draft your own star defensive end. Nope.
So what is worth that second pick besides the player? Is it 3 first rounds?
No.
I'm just saying.
No.
2 first rounds, 2 second rounds?
I don't think it's happening because, to be honest, Lynch has been hesitant to make huge deals like that.
It's true.
I'm going to be honest, I don't see it happening. I like Zach Wilson. I think he might be the best fit for the team outside of Lawrence, of the quarterbacks out there. Yes, I know. Are we all laughing at my guy Maverick and Goose question of why Alex is wearing a Niners jersey when he's a Jaguars fan now?
He understands this obviously has to be someone that we know. I wonder who it could possibly be, because he must know about my love of Urban Meyer. But that's crazy. It's crazy. I cut you off with my giggles. I'm so sorry.
It's okay.
It really just depends. And like I said, it's the Jets. It's Robert Saleh. It's guys from the 49ers staff who know what Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch are looking for in a quarterback, and if they really think they are in love with Zach Wilson, and that if they weren't the team to go pull the trigger on him early, if they think there's any possibility he could slide, I could see them trying to leverage that into a trade. Nick Bosa ain't worth it, in my opinion. It's a proven thing, right? Like, we know what Nick Bosa is when he's healthy. We don't know what Zach Wilson is at all in the NFL. In this situation, I'd rather stick with the thing that we know, rather than go into the unknown and give up Bosa and then be trying to completely rebuild your O-line. I know you could draft a rusher at 12, right, but there's no way that rusher is Nick Bosa.
If the Jets do kind of what the 49ers did, wouldn't it make more sense for the Jets just to trade back a few spots, let somebody come up and get the quarterback, run a year with Sam Darnold, add players on the defense or a playmaker in the passing game, and build the same exact way that Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch built the 49ers? If they were smart, I think that's what they would do. Except don't miss on your first-round pick like we did with Solomon Thomas. Make sure you take a big-time player. But they already have big-time players on the defensive line.
It's true. That they do. They do. Well, It was a fun episode.
It was.
We enjoyed having you on, chat. We enjoyed engaging and interacting with you. Wonderful questions to all of you new subscribers out there. Congratulations. Welcome to the community. We're glad you're a part of it. Thank you so much. We're on our way to 500. We're building towards that 1K. We want to try and get to 1K subscribers before the NFL drafts because we want to do a nice big draft live stream potentially.
We're going to do it.
We're going to do it. We're doing it no matter what. We'd like to do it with 1,000 though. 1K, big celebration stream. It'll be a lot of fun. We'll have some special guests on as well. It's going to be a good time. I mean, this was wonderful. This was fun, guys. Yeah. I really enjoyed it. Thanks for everyone for interacting and asking questions. There was a lot of good questions, a lot of good 49ers talk. That's really what we like and what we're here for. So thanks for that. Keep challenging us. We'll keep challenging you. It's a lot of fun. Yeah, we really appreciate it, guys, for the people we know that participated and the people we don't know that are new to us that participated. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. We had fun talking to you, hoping to see you watching and participating in future episodes. Accurate. All right, guys. Enjoy the Super Bowl. Oh, and don't forget, tomorrow's episode, 11 a.m. right here on this channel. Hit that subscribe button. Could be about centers. And could remember, be about centers. Could be as of Monday, the 49ers are undefeated. That's right. Bingo. And you guys know what time it is? Let's chalk another one up.